You're welcome. Kindly subscribe to YouTube channel and follow on Facebook page at Dr. Zabby's Talk Show.
Mo kí gbogbo wa nílé lóko lẹ́yìn odi, mo kí wa ipa bójú ọjọ́ ṣe rí, mo kẹ́yìn ìyá, mo kẹ́yìn bàbá, mo kí ẹ̀gbọ́n, mo kí àbúrò. Èmi ọmọ yín náà ni olólùfẹ́ yín. Ayé ọpẹ́ yọ, ṣe yọ lọ́dọ̀ títí náà ní agbára lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run. Ayé ọpẹ́ á máa yọ fún wa, lórí ọmọ, lórí ìdáwọ́lé wa. Òun la ayé ọpẹ́ ló máa fi máa yọ. Gẹ́gẹ́ bí àdéhùn. Àdéhùn náà ni mo wá ṣìkà. Pẹ̀lú nǹkan tí mo sọ wípé abiyamọ Nàìjíríà burú kò ní ṣẹlẹ̀ sí èmi àti yín. Ẹ bá mi type àmì sí comment section. Nàìjíríà burú kò ní ṣẹlẹ̀ sí èmi àti yín. Mo tún sọ lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí. Nàìjíríà burú kò ní ṣẹlẹ̀ sí èmi àti yín. Ìyá mi àti bàbá mi. Àkókò ti tó. Ọlọ́run á wọlá gbogbo eléyìí. Lára eléyìí tá fẹ́ wò yìí. Mi ò lè ṣe eléyìí lẹ́yọ̀kan. Màá ṣe ní 1 ó máa dé 3. Because màá fẹ́ jẹ́ kẹ́ mọ̀. Mi kàn ní fẹ́ jẹ́ kẹ́ kàn ṣe ní just lórí no. Ẹ jẹ́ ká kọ́kọ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ láti bẹ̀rẹ̀. Báwo ló ṣe rí? Báwo ló ṣe jẹ́? Inú ayé wo la wà? Ó dàbí pé ayé mi la tún wà yìí. Ó dàbí pé a tún wà ayé nínú ayé. Òun ló yẹ kán máa pe nǹkan tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ ní Nàìjíríà. Ẹ má jẹ́ kí n exaggerate tó bá jẹ́ nígbà àkọ́kọ́. Tẹ́yìn ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ ṣe alábàápàdé ètò tá máa ń ṣe yìí. Yorùbá ni mí, Yorùbá ni ràn mí. God bless you. Ẹ má gbàgbé láti bá wa tẹ like. Ẹ má gbàgbé láti bá wa fi comment tí yín náà sílẹ̀. Ojú wo lẹ fi wo program tá ṣe? Báwo ló ṣe rí lọ́dọ̀ títí yín? Ojú òní tiwa. God bless you. One love. Ẹ má bá mi kánú. Èyí tá kọ́kọ́ fẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ lé lórí. Èyí tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ ní London. Ọlọ́run má jẹ́ arógun sá káàkiri. Ọlọ́run má jẹ́ arógun gbàmígbàmí. Eléyìí pọ̀ o. Ọlọ́run má ní wá lára. Kẹ́lẹ́dàá wa kó má ní wá lára. Nǹkan tí bàbá wa tán wà ní UK yìí. Mi ìsẹ̀ mọ̀ pé UK ni bàbá yìí wà. Gbogbo àtọ̀ yín bàbá. Ẹ gbọ́ ẹ̀tọ́ fún wa lágbára ṣẹ̀dá. Mo máa ń rí short video wọn. Bọ̀ mi ò mọ̀ pé UK náà wà. Kẹ́ lè rí bí àwọn èèyàn bó ṣe ń sá káàkiri. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ló ṣe ń ba àwọn ènìyàn ní Canada ni, l'Amẹ́ríkà ni, ní UK ń bí báyìí ni. Kódà gan ní Áfíríkà wa. Ilé ò gbà ọ̀nà ò gbà. Ṣépè ni tàbí nǹkan míì lára Áfíríkà. Kí ló dé? Báwo ló ṣe lè tó yìí? Èwo ló tún ṣẹlẹ̀?
21 was a 14-year-old boarding student at Premier Academy, Lugbe, Abuja. So it all started on the 18th of June, 2021. My daughter had called from school using her teacher's phone, saying that she had issues with her eyes, so she would want to be taken home. It was in the evening of Friday. So I told her I'll be coming to the school, but the teacher quickly begged that if I get to the school, she will be punished for allowing my daughter use her phone. So I should call the next day, which was going to be a call day, Saturday, 19th of June, and tell them I want to take her home. So the next day, by 8 a.m., I called the matron of the school clinic and told her that Karen had called that she had issues with her eyes, so I would like to come and pick her for medication. And the matron said no. If I pick Karen because of COVID-19 protocols, she'll be made to stay in isolation for 7 days when she gets back. So it will be a better arrangement if I pay for logistics, the school takes her to the clinic, I intend to take her and then take her back to school. I paid 5,000 naira into the school account, and by a few minutes to 10, I was waiting for them at Nisa Premier Hospital. So she came to me in the hospital. When she saw me, she immediately asked, "Mommy, this wasn't our arrangement. Why didn't you come to pick me?" And I told her the matron said she would be kept in isolation because of COVID-19. And she quickly told me that was a lie. Nobody is kept in isolation in our school. I should look at the girl in the car with her. She's going home for her mother's birthday party. Is it not better? Is she not in a better position to be given an exit to go home for treatment on medical grounds? The girl is going home for a birthday party. So I told her that she shouldn't worry. I'll call the principal and get an exit for her. So they attended to her after the treatment. I said, okay, she should go back. I'll call and get a proper exit and go and pick her. But when she was leaving, she asked a question. Mommy, are you letting me live with these people again? I said, what people?
Wait, your daughter looked at you and said, Mommy, are you letting me go with these people again? From the school, the people from the school.
Yeah, she came.
You should have suspected something now.
She came in the car with the nurse, a teacher, the driver, and the girl that was going for the birthday party. So I said, don't bother. You didn't get an exit. You didn't get your books. You soon start exams. Just go back. I'm following right behind you. So I called the school principal. No, when they were going, I now asked her if I should give the nurse and the teacher some money. She said, no, these wicked people, were they not the one that were shouting on me? And it was very unlike her.
What were they shouting at her at?
I asked her, why were they shouting at you? She said, no, I was crying because of my eyes.
No, she mentioned something. She said, they are shouting at you. Is it the first time?
Is it the first time they were shouting that? I said, why? She said, because she was crying for her eyes. I said, is it this nurse? She said, no, it's one black, ugly one in school. So I now called the principal that I still want to take Karen home. She's not feeling too fine. The principal said, don't worry, madam. Once you get to the gate, call me. Just call me and I will give you an exit. So immediately they left. I followed behind. I got to the school at about 1 p.m. I called the principal. The principal will not pick my call. I called the matron. The matron picked my call and said, I still want to take Karen home. Please, I want an exit. She said, madam, we've established that it's a bacterial infection. We are taking care of Karen. Go home. I called the principal. I wasn't satisfied. I said, this time he picked my call. When I said, I want to take Karen, he said, I think the matron has explained to you, we are taking care of Karen, just leave her.
The principal of which school?
Principal of Premier Academy, Lugbe, Mr. Chris Akinshaw. That Mrs. Grace Salami, who was the matron of the school clinic. I now wanted to go back, but then Karen called me from the school phone and said, Mommy, where are you? I said, I came, but they are not allowing me. She started crying. So I was, what exactly is it? She said she just wants to go. I said, babe, you're going to write exam next week. She said she wants to go home. So the house mother of Karen, Mrs. Rita Abejide, now told me that I should not listen to what the matron is telling me. I should disregard whatever they are telling me and make sure I take my daughter home.
Her godmother?
Her house mother.
Her house mother from the school? From the school. Told you that whatever thing the school tells you, you should disregard it.
That this girl could not walk to school on Wednesday the 16th to write a test. She had to be supported by her friends to go and write a test. And that caught me. This girl was crying. She could not walk to school. She wasn't taken for treatment. She was taken to write a test. So it means they knew what had happened. So I said, no, I'm taking Karen. I kept on calling the matron, the principal. None of them would pick my call. So I called back the house mother and said, I'm calling them. They are not picking. She said, madam, make a lot of noise at that gate until they allow you to take your daughter. I was at the gate from 1 p.m. to past 3.
Nobody listened to you?
Nobody. I went to the security man and I told him I wanted to see the principal. He made a call and then moved into the school compound. When he came back, I said, what did he say? He said, I don't understand what he was saying. So I was at the gate. I sent text messages to them that I still want to take my daughter home. So by almost 4 p.m., the matron now called me and said, madam, you say you still want to take Karen home. I say, yes, I want to take Karen home.
What is the name of the matron?
Mrs. Grace Salami. So at that time, as I was at the gate, there's a cleaner in the school that knows I'm Karen's mom because 2 of my children were already there.
If you're currently paying for a subscription to a doorbell camera,
cleaner saw me and was like,
2 of your children,
my first and second son
are schooling
there. And the cleaner is from my place. So when he saw me, he said, you came to take Karen. I said, what happened? He said, Karen was rolling all over the floor today that she must go home. So when she said, okay, we are going to release your daughter to you, I waited at the gate for another 30 minutes. I did not see Karen. So I called Mr. Akinshaw, the acting principal, and said, I called him with my MTN line. He did not pick.
They were the number he knows.
Then he did not pick. I used my Glow line. When he picked, I now said, please, it's Mrs. Akbar. He said, madam, now you know what, let me rest today. Eh? I said, Oga, please,
With
just...
the principal telling you this?
Yes.
Mr. Who?
Akinsowo, Chris Akinsowo.
He told you this?
Yes.
No, he told someone to tell you this?
No. I spoke to him directly.
He told you this to your hearing?
Yes, sir.
Over the phone?
Yes, sir.
You still have the same line?
Yes, sir.
In case there will be denial, we will talk to
he told me that, yes,
telecoms
that was exactly what he told me. And I said, Oga, please just release my daughter to me. I want to take her home. He said, don't worry, she's coming out. It took at about 30 minutes again, but when Karen came out, she came out with her hand over her face like this. I kept on asking her what exactly. She said nothing. But when I made to take her away, the security said, no, madam, you can't take her. You must bring an ID card for us to snap. I say, I have two other kids.
Well, that is their procedure, sure?
No, I have two other kids in this school. In fact, May, the month before, during Salah, they did not come home for Salah. So I went to see them in school. That was on the 14th of May. And I saw that she had red eyes. And I said, I now called the matron. Madam, I want to take Karen for checkup. Immediately, she said, don't worry, somebody is bringing an exit to you. I was at the school technical place where they were receiving parents. And they brought the exit and I took her home.
And nobody asked you for ID card?
Nobody asked for ID card. So I said, no problem. I brought my ID card, they snapped it, and I took Karen home. All through our drive home, she was very talkative. She could not say anything. I kept on asking her. We were even teasing her that cry until you like this, you're crying to come home. She didn't say anything. She got home. Immediately she got into the house. She switched off all the lights and lay down. So to eat, she did not eat that day. The next day, because she's diabetic, all she did was took her insulin, slept. The next day she woke up, took insulin, and then came down and ate. Warmed the food of the day before and ate with her younger brother. We were in the house up till 11 p.m. She came to my room and said, Mommy, I just vomited. I asked her, are you feeling sick? She said, do you want us to go to the hospital? She said, no, tomorrow we'll go to the hospital. But by 4:35 a.m. in the morning, my daughter woke me up that, Mommy, I want warm water. Gave her warm water. She drank. The cup she drank with, the water was finished, but she did not put the cup down. She kept, it was just, I said, Dido, because we call her Dido, the water is finished, put the cup down. She kept the cup down and continued with her hand.
She now positioned her hand as if she was holding a cup to drink water.
That was when I realized that all is not well. So I now quickly was making to dress her. She started fighting me. Don't touch me, leave me alone, leave me alone. Managed to dress her. We brought her down, took her to the hospital. When we walked into the hospital and they saw her state, they immediately inserted a drip for her. And because she was so weak, they did not want her to be moving to the toilet. They wanted to insert a catheter. They saw a discharge. And because she's diabetic,
they saw a discharge from her private part.
Vagina. Because she's diabetic, they thought it was candidiasis. So later again, they wanted to take a vaginal swab. This time, the discharge came like a whole lump. So what the doctor did was the doctor just wrapped it. The doctor just wrapped it and said they should take it for test. Took her urine for test. So by 1 p.m., about that, the doctor came to me and called me and said, Madam, at this time, she was now struggling, fighting. They had to restrain her. And the catheter, all she wanted to do was, I just want to go and pee. Please, you people should just let me go and pee. So when the doctor came, he called me and told me that my daughter's urine revealed a lot of dead spermatozoa.
Dead sperm?
Yes, sir. And then that lumpy thing they took thinking it was a discharge was actually condom, latex, condom. And the motions my daughter has been going through points to the fact that my daughter was molested, probably raped, and she was just living through all the trauma. So at that point, I called the school matron and the principal and told them I would like to discuss something with them in the hospital and gave them their address. And they said they were coming. That was at Queen's Clinic in Wuse Zone 6. So I now called the house father of my son. And I told him, and he asked me, I wanted to actually speak to my son to find out if he heard any story of what happened to his sister. I did not reveal whatever the doctor had told me. So he asked me how Karen was doing. That's Mr. Chuka Okafo. He asked me how Karen was doing, and I told him she wasn't doing too well. She was still unconscious. The next thing he said was, Madam, don't worry. We'll get to the bottom of this so that it doesn't happen to another child.
His name is what?
Mr. Chuka Okafo.
A staff of that school? A teacher?
Yeah. No, a house father. Okay. Stays in the hostel. So I called the nurse, Mrs. Bridget Tiongi, who is also from my place, and I had expected she would care for Karen. But I still did not disclose what happened to her. And she said, she spoke in my language, but what it meant was that...
Say it exactly before translation.
Mommy kakwaga sifaona ese wankwa ken. Mommy, it's no problem. We'll get to know who did something to our daughter.
That Mrs. Who telling you this? Miss
Bridget Tiongi. So the school did not come to the hospital until about 4:45, 5 p.m. thereabout. So the matron and the principal said he couldn't come, so he was the head of pastoral.
That came?
Yes, and the matron, Mrs. Grace Salami. And when they came, I explained all this to them. Mrs. Grace Salami saw her lying because she was unconscious.
That was when you disclosed to them what
this is what the doctor had
discovered.
Seen. Yes.
Discovered that she was raped repeatedly.
Yes.
And unfortunately, okay, I don't know whether you have, when you get there, you will about the, okay, so continue.
So at that point, when she came, she kept on pinching her. She would pinch her hands, pinch her
The woman
legs.
was pinching your daughter?
Yeah, and I asked her, what are you doing that for? And she said she just wants to see if she's still conscious. I said, please don't do that.
Pinching?
So, yes. So
in the presence of everybody?
Yes.
You and who?
My sister was there. And then the head of pastoral was there. So
which other person is there?
It was just us in there.
Okay, and she was pinching the girl?
Yes. So at this point, we started discussing, and I pressed record on my phone.
You were recording your conversation? Good.
Yes. So the matron said, you gave us this girl in trust, thinking we could take care of her. Look at what happened to her.
Who was saying that?
The matron, Mrs. Grace Salami.
Confessing to you?
Yes.
Say exactly what she said.
You gave us this girl in trust, thinking we could take care of her. Look at what happened to her. No mother would be happy this happening to her child. And the head of pastoral said, if this has happened to her, who says it has not happened to many others in that school? What kind of vigilance are we saying?
And you have the recording as we speak.
So at that point, they wanted to leave, and I said, no, it was best we see the doctor so he explains better to them. But when we got down, it was past 5 and he had left. So by 2:15 a.m., the morning of the 22nd June, my daughter gave up. And it was from sepsis, hyperglycemia caused by sepsis, which was triggered by the condom that was left in her, which the doctor later explained to me that if you are operated on, and there is an infection, if you have a fever after 3 days, it's no problem. But if there is a fever on the 7th day, it means there is an infection. So from what we got from the school, she could not walk to school on Wednesday, 16th. If you count up to Sunday, if you count on the 5th day, if you count up to Wednesday, Sunday was 5 days already. So at that time, infection had set in. And because she was diabetic, Her body was already compromised. Her immune system was compromised. But again, later I got to hear from information from the school that the black nurse she referred to, who was Miss Lois Bong, had given her an overdose of dexamethasone, which is a steroid that a diabetic is not supposed to take, because even in a normal human being, it brings down your immunity.
What is the name of the drug?
Dexamethasone.
Who gave her that?
Mrs. Lois Bong.
And that
The black nurse she referred to.
Ooh.
And then I also got to hear that when the other nurses, when they heard she had passed and they confronted her, what medication did you? She gave her 5 tablets of dexamethasone and 1 Naloxone. So when they confronted her that you overdosed this girl, she's dead, she now started begging them not to expose her. So
what is her name again?
Miss Lois Bong.
Okay.
The same week my daughter died, she left the school employ.
Oh, she resigned her appointment.
She left the school employ. So after my daughter passed,
why did they give her dexamethasone?
Yeah.
Pain?
It dulls any pain, dexamethasone.
Okay, it's like a painkiller.
So
guide her.
Okay. So basically, the injury she sustained
From
that
the
is
rape.
believed from the rape needed to be managed. And the impression from all our investigation is that dexamethasone, being a steroid, will help her at her age, as 14. It's easier to just use it to manage her and deaden the pain. And that's why
She
within
could
a few
even
days,
walk
she
the
could now
following
walk.
day
Yes.
to the gate because,
Yes.
according to your story, some days before your arrival, she couldn't walk.
on Wednesday,
You understand?
the morning of Wednesday,
And then, what day did you get to the school?
on the 19th.
No.
So, the Wednesday was 16th, 19th was Saturday.
And she was able to walk to the gate. So
She even walked to me in the hospital because at that time they had been managing her. Who knows? It was a series of overdose of dexamethasone that she was being given.
continue.
So at this point, I called the school in the morning and told them Karen had passed. Immediately they released some kind of statement on the school platform saying Karen had died from hyperglycemia, high blood sugar. Yeah. So I was on the platform.
And what did they claim killed her?
Hyperglycemia, just diabetes. And then they also said, since I was on the platform, I refuted that instantly. I told the people on the platform that Karen died from complications arising from rape, that she was raped in the school in Premier Academy. So that was when they started releasing statements that I took my daughter home, I could not take care of her, and she died. I did not give her the right food and she ate and she died. So we started going back and forth.
Sorry, make the point of your own status and how you eat about it.
I'm diabetic too. My daughter is diabetic too. So I know how to, and in fact, she knows how to take very good care of herself. She was diagnosed at 9. And she had never had a crisis until this happened.
Okay.
So I now took the case to the FCT command. I actually first went to Gwarimpa police station because that's where I live. But when I got there, they said it's not under their jurisdiction, that it's actually supposed to be in Lugbe, where the school is. But when we were going to, a policeman ran out of the police station and told us not to take our case to Lugbe. If we take
Wait, a policeman from the same Gwarimpa police station ran after you and told you not to even take your matter to Lugbe police station.
That if we take it to Lugbe, it will be swept under the rug. That we should go to the
police
FCT.
Be a female.
A male policeman. We should go to FCT on the 22nd, but they asked us to make a formal entry, which we did, and it was received on the 23rd. And it was assigned to IPO, an IPO who was Mr. Cosmos Onyebuchi. We also had ASP Shikirat, and the OC gender then was Mrs. Fumilayo Kolowale, under the stay of the DCP Joseph Pam. From Pam, yeah. So the very first day I met with the IPO.
By name who?
Mr. Cosmos Onyebuchi. They actually asked for 1.2 million for logistics.
From you?
Yes, sir.
After losing your daughter, you came to the police for justice. The police is asking you for 1.2 million naira.
But they ended up collecting 800,000. So they told me
Which
that
year this thing happened?
2021. So, but they told me they were going to.
What is the name of the IPO that collected?
Mr. Cosmos Onyebuchi.
He was the one that requested for 1.2 million. You ended up raising 800,000 naira.
Yes, sir.
And he collected it from you. Continue.
I was with my lawyer, Mr. Sani.
And your lawyer witnessed the transaction?
It was through him, yes.
Okay.
So
through your lawyer. Okay.
So after that, they told me that they will be going to the school for investigation the next day. So the next day when they got to the school, they called back and told me that the school had told them that they had gone for Karen's burial. But at that time...
they came to your place. That they went to Karen's parents.
Burial.
Oh.
That they had gone for Karen's burial. There's nobody to attend to them.
Who
in
is
the school.
Karen?
My daughter.
Were they there at the burial?
There was no burial. She was still at the morgue.
She was still at the mortuary?
Yeah, because we had asked for an autopsy to be carried.
So police now told you that...
They went to the school and the school authority told them that everybody responsible to have received them had gone for Karen's burial. So when I asked for autopsy, this one, it was Joseph from Pam himself that told me that if I wait for the police to pay for that autopsy, it will take a long while. So I'll have to arrange for that payment. And I paid 3.
What is the name of the person that...
DCP Joseph from Pam.
Paul Pam.
Joseph.
From Pam Joseph.
From Pam Joseph told you that if you are going to wait for police to pay for the autopsy, that what?
It will take a long while. So I'll have to make arrangements for that if I want to bury my daughter on time. So I paid 3. They said I should make arrangement for the pathologist and pay for the autopsy, and I did pay 300,000. And also paid for an observer to cover for me too, which came up to 500,000.
500,000. So the observer 200,000. Okay.
So after that, the first date they fixed for autopsy, when they got there, they did not bring the medical reports, and they wanted to carry the autopsy. So the observer, the pathologist, say there's what will be the...
Moki ẹ̀yà mi, moki bàbá, moki ẹ̀gbọ́n, moki àbúrò, moki wá ipa bójú ọjọ́ ṣe rí. Ojú òní tiwa, àní rí ohun gbé sọnù bí òṣèbí ọmọ. Lágbára lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run, àní fojú sunkún ọmọ o. Oni gboko ọmọ káwa mọ́lé ẹrù tàbí àmọ́ ọ̀kíntú oni gbé wá bá wa mọ́lé lágbára lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run. Ó ṣe ní láàánú tí rí nǹkan kan o kó má bàa gùn jù kó má bàa pọ̀ jù tí a ṣe ní ṣọ́ọ̀ṣì kéékèèké ni màá ṣe bọ́ máa lo the same topic lé lórí so that yẹn tẹ́ ń bá lọ á lè máa yé wa lọ kò yẹ yín sìn tẹ́ bá ti rí topic episode 2 episode 3 ni máa gbé dé kẹ́ lè mọ̀ wípé ṣebí àwọn tán lè wá èmi ní Fẹ̀rẹ̀kẹ̀tẹ̀ family Oríyọmí Hamzat pẹ̀lú gbogbo wọn bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn ṣebí àwọn tán lè wá wọn lọ nìyẹn àwọn tán lè wá wọn lọ ńkọ́ àwọn tán tiẹ̀ ní mobile phone ńkọ́ àwọn tán tiẹ̀ mọ̀ bóyá Fẹ̀rẹ̀kẹ̀tẹ̀ family bóyá exist ńkọ́ ìyá mi bàbá mi ẹ̀gbọ́n mi àti àbúrò mi Nàìjíríà àbúrò ní ṣẹlẹ̀ fún èmi àti yín ojú abiyamọ rí ṣégè lọ́wọ́ Nàìjíríà. Ojú abiyamọ rí ẹ wo adúrú owó ẹ tí gbọ́n kankan ẹ má jẹ́ ń fagùn ẹ fojú sọ́nà sí sápá kejì. Ẹ bá wa ṣe ètò yìí ẹ bá fi kọ́mẹ̀ntì tí yín náà sílẹ̀ kẹ́dẹ̀ bá wa tẹ like torí kò ní dà kéèyàn 500 kó wo program kó máa jẹ́yàn 10 ló máa tẹ like. Ẹ bá wa fìfẹ́ tẹ like síbẹ̀ lágbára lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run à ní ṣàṣetì ojú òní tiwa ètí máa gbé wá sí tàwọn fi kẹsẹ̀ tó ń lẹ̀ pátápátá kékeré báyìí ni bọ̀ yẹn lè máa fi wò wípé orí ìṣó ni àwọn tó bá sọ pé àwọn gbójúlé wọn Nàìjíríà ẹ jẹ́ ká sáré wò.
For this country, nothing dey surprise me again. Imagine they push plane, make it for start. Nothing dey surprise me again. I don't too see.
C'est fini. Àwọn Faransé ló sọ bẹ́ẹ̀, c'est fini. C'est finito. Àwọn Italian ló ti sọ bẹ́ẹ̀. It's finished. Àwọn òyìnbó ló sọ bẹ́ẹ̀. Àwọn Japani kí lẹ́yìn tún sọ lọ́hùn. Bá a tọ́ síbẹ̀. Ó kí wọ́n lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí ipa gbogbo ọjọ́ ṣeré. Ibi báyìí la máa mú ètò tèmi wá sópin sí. Ìyá mi àti bàbá mi ẹ máa fojú sọ́nà. Bọ̀ ṣe mọ̀ ẹ́ pé ó lè wọnú ara wọn. Ìmí ìlò lè jáde lẹ́yìn ilé tàbí kí ẹ ṣáà fojú sọ́nà ṣá fún èyí tó bá jẹ́ àkọlé kan náà ni màá fi sáwá jẹ́ episode 2 and 3. God bless you. One love. Bye for now. Nàìjíríà burúkú ní ṣẹlẹ̀ sí èmi àti yín. Ire lójú owó ń rí. Ire lèmi àti yín. Ire la máa rí. God bless you. One love. Bye for now.
Mo kí gbogbo ojú tí wò mí ti ń gbọ́ mi jákèjádò orígun mẹ́rẹ̀ẹ̀rin àgbáyé. Orúkọ mi ni Ambassador Àkànfẹ́ Ìwò tí mo jẹ́ agbẹnusọ fún iléeṣẹ́ X2 Ultimate Herbal International Limited. Níléeṣẹ́ wa bí láti màmọ̀ dájú nǹkan kan tí eléyìnbó ń pè ní health is wealth. Ìlera lọ́rọ̀ kì í ṣàfẹnujẹ́ nìkan tá a bá ń gbọ́ ọ̀nì sétí torí gbogbo lọ́gbọ̀n àwọn èèyàn ni wọ́n ń kojú àìsàn tí a pè ní ìfúnpá gíga. Ìdí nìyí tí iléeṣẹ́ X2 Ultimate Herbal fi ṣètò oògùn ìfúnpá gíga fún ní powder àti ní olómi. Kò tán síbẹ̀ oògùn ìtọ̀ ṣúgà ó wà ní iléeṣẹ́ X2 Ultimate Herbal International Limited ní powder àti ní olómi. Òun náà lẹ̀ ń wò yìí. Oògùn ọ̀pẹ́ ẹ̀yìn wà tí a ti ṣe lọ́jọ̀ fún ẹni tó bá ń kojú ọ̀pẹ́ ẹ̀yìn torí gẹ́gẹ́ bí ìṣòro iléeṣẹ́ wa níbí ní oògùn ẹ̀ tó lè bá wọn tán rẹ̀ lójú ọgbọ́n. Bákan náà ogunlọ́gọ̀ àwọn èèyàn ni wọ́n jẹ́ oníbìísí tí wọ́n ti rora wọn pín wípé Ọlọ́run ò lè ṣe ṣùgbọ́n tó jẹ́ pé àìsàn kan sómìíràn ní kọjú ọmọ bíbí wọn. Ó wà ní iléeṣẹ́ X2 Herbal International Limited fún ìwòsàn fún àwọn oníbìísí. Kò tó síbẹ̀ o a ní ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ oògùn tí a ṣe létò fún ẹni tó bá jẹ́ ẹni tó bá ní ikùn gbẹ̀ndù.
You're welcome. Kindly subscribe to YouTube channel and follow on Facebook page at Dr. Zabby's Talk Show.